everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft. Welcome back to the channel. Today's process video is for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. This is a monthly hop where a bunch of scrapbookers takes inspiration from our Pinterest boards to create a scrapbook layout. So everybody does something different, so definitely make sure that you hop along with all the participants down below in the description box so that you can see what they were inspired by, and maybe you'll be inspired by something too. So I was inspired by a recent pin of mine in my Scrapbook and Cards Pinterest board, which I'll try to have linked below as well. And it's a 2-page layout from Creative Memories, and it looks very simple. It's getting 6 pages across the spread. Doesn't look like there's too much else going on. A few embellishments, minimal paper required, and so I figured it would be perfect to get some of my August 2023 photos scrapbooked. These are all photos that were taken outside of the Children's Museum in Denver, Colorado. It's part of the museum, so it's not like you can just walk up and do these outdoor activities, but it's part of admission. And when you go through the building and you go into the back of it, into like the backyard of the museum, there's all these really cool things like a water feature and like a, I don't know if I would call it, it's not like a ropes course. I guess it kind of is. It's like a big jungle gym type, like Swiss Family Robinson treehouse type thing. But it was really fun. And so these are all the outside pictures from the museum, and then I'll do a separate layout of the indoor pictures of the museum. So I will have the Creative Memories sketch up for just the first half of this video, because as you can see, since it's a 2-page layout, it's a bit big to be showing you, and it kind of covers up a little bit of what I'm working on here. But essentially, it is 2 pages. I've got 2 pieces of basil cardstock and marshmallow. And then I used a Vicki Boutin butterfly paper to go on the side here. This is the left-hand side. So the Creative Memories thing, if you look close enough, it actually has measurements. So it tells you what the photo and the matting measurements need to be. Although I wasn't totally thrilled with, I swear it said, I thought it said that the smaller photo on the side should be 3.5 by 5, and then the mat was 4 by 6. I don't really like the way that looks, but I just kept it because I was trying to just do exactly as the sketch directed. But the butterfly paper is cut, it's 12 inches, but then cut to 8, and then the other 4 are going to be on the other side. Now, there is something that goes across the bottom, so it's a full 12 inches, and then, you know, maybe like a little bit, I don't know, it's like a scalloped border type thing. I didn't have something specific like that, but I did have 2 pieces of this Vicki Boutin paper that had different patterns going across the, almost like strips. And so I just cut a strip of one, and I'm going to do the same thing with the second sheet of paper on the other side. So the 2 4x6 photos there, I used some old scrapbook paper that I didn't really like, and I knew I wasn't going to be using for anything. I flipped it over and it's white on the other side, so I matted my photos on white. And then I had that striped paper that I cut. I had extras of that, obviously, and the back side has this cool black and white pattern on it, and I thought that would look really nice against the butterflies. And I inked all the edges of everything to make everything stand out really well. I think if I was to do this again, I wouldn't use a white cardstock background. I would pull something from the butterfly paper, maybe like a blue or a yellow. Even green is really nice, but this is what I had to work with, and so this is what I'm doing. And I'm using my double-sided Scotch tape to stick everything down. It's a pretty easy design. The 2 photos that are matted together are 4x6. I don't know if I said that before. And then basically you're just mirroring everything on the opposite side in terms of the photo design. So if you just needed a quick 2-page photo design, and then you can do whatever you want with the papers and put them wherever you want, you know, this could be a good jumping off point for that. But I decided I wanted everything on my layout to look just like it did in this sketch. So now I'm on the second side. Obviously haven't put down any titling or embellishments yet. I just want to get my photos and my papers down first, and then I will go through my stash and find stuff that I want to use. So this photo was actually taken in the parking lot of the Children's Museum, but it had those really cool clouds, and I just really liked the way that looked. So I took a picture of my daughter standing in front of it. And then the other photos are of her, you know, climbing around outside, playing in the water. It was really cool. I will say, be prepared. If you go and it's a hot day and you're outside with the water feature, your kid is going to get soaked. So bring a change of clothes, and that includes socks and underwear. because we actually had to go to Target and buy my child a whole new outfit because her clothing was just drenched, and we still had stuff to do that day. So just keep that in mind if you ever go there. Bring a change of clothes for your kid. I've already scrapbooked about her doing a cooking class there. That was really fun. And then the other photos I have are just some of the indoor exhibits, like you could put yourself in a bubble, you could work with tools and make something out of recycled materials. I'm trying to think what else I can remember about. Oh, there's a climbing structure inside, which is always very popular with the kids. And I think that's pretty much all I remember. It was a cool museum. It was very cool. We had a good time there. Probably could have spent even longer there, but like I said, we had other things to do. So we just did kind of a morning to like lunchtime, I think. And then we got sandwiches somewhere and we're off on other adventures. And of course, the Target stop, we had to make a Target stop. So because I'm mirroring the design from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, I've got to have my 4x6 photos matted on white cardstock before I mat them on the leftover black and white. And so again, I just found like a random piece of scrapbook paper that I didn't really like, I wasn't going to use, and I used it to mat the back of the photo. It was like a travel themed collection. I think that paper was from, I don't know. It was a Michaels, probably a Michaels Recollections paper pad. But I'm like, what am I going to use that? I don't know. Some papers you're just like, oh, what is this? I don't know what you guys do. If you come across papers that you have that you just don't really like, if you tend to use them, if you flip them over on their side, like what's the strategy there for you guys? Or do you give them away to people? I used to have somebody who, anytime she had a surplus of scrapbooking things, I guess whether she liked them or not, she would send me a box, and that was really cool. That was really helpful too, but that hasn't happened in a while, and that's okay. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you do when you come across paper that you just don't really like. How do you use it? All right, so I need to make sure that I'm lining things up appropriately so that everything is, the same distance, since this is a mirror of the design. You could also just do this as a single page layout and pick one side and just, if you have 3 photos, you could just make it a 3 photo layout, whatever you want to do. Looks like I have some embellishments that I did pull. So some of those are American Crafts chipboard pieces. I think there are some stars, puffy stars that I'm also using. And I have those circle letters. They spell out the word yay. Those are American Crafts. And because the backing is just too hard to get off, I just stuck them down with glue dots. I figured I wasn't going to spend the time trying to peel off the paper backing. If it didn't want to come off, it didn't want to come off. There are other ways to adhere it down. So it spells out yay, and I'm just going to put that right down underneath those photos. That's not going to be the title. Don't worry, I will do a title, but I have to find some letters first. And then I'm just going to add in another one of those American Crafts. I don't even know what I would call it. It's like a tab, I guess. But it's American Crafts puffy sticker. That was something I got at Joann on clearance a couple months ago. So yeah, what else am I doing? Not too much. This is a very basic design, and because there are so many photos, you don't need a whole lot of extra stuff. And especially if you don't have a whole lot of extra stuff, I wouldn't worry too much about trying to embellish. If you can sort of create a cluster somewhere, and at least get like one cluster on each side, I think that's pretty good. So I'm working on the title right now, and I'm going to make it be a collaboration of 2 different types of alphas. The first alpha I'm using are Bella Boulevard alpha stickers, and I'm spelling the word outside. Do I get everything lined up properly as I'm putting down the letter stickers? No, I don't. Do I have to peel them up and move them over a little bit? Yes, I do. I wish there was an easier way to measure the letter stickers before you put them down, but there just isn't. And luckily those are pretty easy to move. So if you ever find yourself in this situation, don't be afraid to try to pick them up and move them. It happens to the best of us. And then I found these Doodlebug stickers in my alpha stash, and I just needed small ones. And so I'm just using the small brown sort of rectangular letters to spell the word the. And the title of this is The Outside, because these are the photos taken in the outside portion of the Children's Museum. So I'm also kind of looking on that Simple Story sticker sheet to see if there's a place where I can do some journaling, to use one of those journaling spots. And you know, I'm like, what would work? Well, before I get to it, there's a butterfly from an American Crafts chipboard piece, and of course, there's butterfly pattern paper, so that's going to work out really well. And then I'm just going to stick that Simple Stories sticker from the flea market collection. I'm just going to stick it down behind the butterfly, and that's where my journaling is going to be. So again, you can kind of see that there's a bit of a triangular shape here going on with the embellishments, I guess, between the title and on the first page and the embellishments, actually almost making like a diamond. Because if you go from the title to the second page, it goes up to the embellishment cluster and then down to the embellishment cluster on the right. But then if you go down, you've got another embellishment cluster on the first page, and then back up to the title. So it kind of makes a loop going on there. Anyway, that's just me trying to give you some design tips, but honestly, sometimes I just kind of put stuff down wherever. I've got another embellishment cluster up on the left-hand top side with some stars and an American Crafts puffy sticker thing. So whatever. I do the best that I can to abide by design rules, but sometimes you just want to put stuff where you want to put it, and that's okay too. Journaling's done. Just putting down, like, again, some more embellishments using some glue dots to help everything stick. And then basically that's kind of it. This is a very simple 2-page. I think this process video came in about 12 minutes sped up. So maybe it took me under half an hour to scrapbook this. So if you're looking for something that's going to be quick and a good way to get multiple photos done, I would recommend this Creative Memories sketch for sure. So thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on social media, and don't forget to hop along with everybody else who's participating today in Off the Board.